Hey guys, and welcome back for another review, my first in a while. Today we'll be reviewing the 75337 ATTE Walker, one of the best sets to come out in the past decade. It comes with 1,082 pieces, 8 figures if you count B1 battle droids, including Commander Cody, an ATTE gunner, and 3 212th Attack Battalion clone troopers. The box art is black greebled background on the sides and bottom with a slice of the ATTE's cockpit on the left side of the box for quick identification on the shelf. The top of the box has translations of the set's official name as well as a 2-scale image of Commander Cody. A beautiful depiction of the Battle of Utapau graces the front with the 332nd Trooper in the bottom left corner. The back of the box shows the set number as well as some of the play features, and depicts a skirmish between the figures on one of Utapau's many platforms, which looks great. Now, I'll be the first to say before we get started that I am biased here. The ATTE is my favorite ground vehicle in the Star Wars universe, and 212th is by far my favorite Legion, so let's keep that in mind as we go. So, we'll go ahead and start off with the minifigures. The first choice, obviously, is going to be Commander Cody. I think he's one of the most anticipated minifigures in Phase 2 armor that we have seen in a very long time. That mantle has now been passed to Captain Rex in Phase 2 armor, but nevertheless, he comes with this visor piece, which plugs into these holes in the helmet, which are a little too high. They're supposed to be down a little bit lower. I personally don't care that much about that, but I can see why it's a problem. His visor also covers his eyes, which it shouldn't. It should sit about right there, but it sits a little bit lower and covers his visor, which kind of sucks. He has the same armor on the top of his helmet, this extra padding right here, as the ATTE gunner, although it's not printed the same. It should actually be the same. It's supposed to be the same thing. As far as his helmet, he has these markings on the bottom of his helmet here, these orange markings that the regular 212 troopers don't have. If we take off his helmet, we can see the face print that he's got in that sort of a medium nougat color for as far as skin color. His chest plate is weathered. He has his officer insignia on the chest here, some decoration, and his belt and stomach armor down there is gray with a little bit of orange on the left here. His arms are also orange, which is different from the regular 212 troopers. His belt is different than the 212 troopers. It's just got this one little orange dot there. He has a orange stripe on his left leg, his upper left leg, and orange knee pads. Now moving around to the back, we have his jetpack here, as well as his lower back armor is also grayed, just like the front. The back of his helmet is the same as any other clone trooper. So let's move on to one of the 212 troopers. We'll take the weapon. I got these DC 15s off of Bricklink store, but you can also find them on places like Etsy. So, the 212th Trooper has the same helmet hole problem as Commander Cody, but he also has this problem right here on the front of his helmet, and this is with all of the 212th Troopers. They're supposed to be like this. From the Lego factory, this is unfortunately incorrect. You're supposed to be able to see the tip of the orange just after the ridge on their helmet right here and before the visor, but that's not the case. The orange is actually printed too much and too low. So as you can see, he has these little grayed cheeks here for the recesses, which is nice. He has some weathering on his helmet, weathering on the chest as well. We'll take his helmet off. He has a different face, but still in that medium nougat. He has orange markings on the top and sides and belt of the chest printing, as well as here, if I make him lean backwards, you can see he has markings on the top of his thighs and on the knee pads, and all of that is weathered. They also have, just like the rest of the figures, shoe printing as well. So let's turn this around to the back. He has two orange markings on the back as well. Those are just in a similar diagonal way to the front. But this is pretty much the same as any other clone trooper otherwise, apart from the weathering and the orange. Now, the last clone trooper is going to be the ATTE gunner. He has this extra padding or armor on top of his helmet, which is weathered, and these markings on the ridge here, which the other clone troopers do not have. Now, he does still have a similar weathering pattern, but it is unique to this character. Here on the top of his mouthpiece there, and on the other side on this part of the respirator as well. He has this pauldron here that is, I'm not sure if it's supposed to be chest armor or what, but I've seen it before. All the ATTE gunners wear it. Not sure why. There's supposed to be some kind of a large impact that could hit their chest at any time while they're using the weaponry, or if it's just supposed to be extra armor in case they get shot while they're in the gun. He has that. He has some weathering on his chest. Other than that, he has the standard knee pad and shoe printing. Let's go ahead and look at the back. The back, he has the strap for the padding or armor that's on the front, and some weathering, but other than that, it's pretty much the same, and he does not have any printing on the back of his helmet or on the legs, and he has his standard white arms. He is also the same medium nougat face and skin color. Now moving on to the B1 battle droids. You get 3 B1 battle droids. Do I need to say any more? They hold weapons, they're tan, they're B1 battle droids. We've gotten a million of them. Now, I do wish that instead of all 3 of these, we could have maybe gotten 2 or even 1 battle droid and a B2 super battle droid. However, I don't believe that we will ever be seeing the B2 super battle droid ever again. I think that LEGO has probably thrown away the mold, and they do not want to make them anymore, or for some reason they have a dislike for those figures. In any case, here is the dwarf spider droid. This is the last quote-unquote figure. It's really just an extra build, but it is somewhat of a character in the lore, and so here you go. It has 2 points of flexibility, well, 3 points of flexibility on the legs here. It sits on this clear 2x2 round brick, and the weapon here can also be adjusted up and down. That's all for the figures.
The building techniques used in this set are very reminiscent of the original 2008 ATTE, as well as the 2013 version, obviously, but I think that this is definitely the most accurate and versatile version of the ATTE that we've gotten so far. It has a lot of great play features without compromising stability, which is great, and it packs all those play features in with minimal disruption to the display and the visual aspect of the model for use in mocks right out of the box. Usually with play sets of this size, you trade off significantly in that category and end up having to modify the build to make it look accurate or good on the shelf. The weathering of the minifigures plays very nicely into that theme as well, with the ATTE being the backbone of the mechanized forces of the GAR as a whole. It's also very easy to integrate into almost any mock of the era and really bring a powerful and domineering presence to the diorama as well. Aside from that, the modification possibilities with this set are endless, so let's go through that a little bit.
Alright, so now let's take a look at the actual ATTE build itself. It is absolutely beautiful. I could not have really asked for anything more. It comes with all kinds of features, especially play features, and it's very customizable. So if you wanted to make this your own, or you wanted to style it in some specific battalion's colors, you can do so. These tiles and what have you around here, especially all the tiles on the side and on top, you can very easily replace all of these on the sides here with the color of your choosing. So let's start with this turret on the top here. This is a mass driver cannon. It's very powerful and has two little stud shooters on the side. I don't think that these two really take away too much from the look of the turret itself, although I totally understand if somebody would want to take them off and not display it like that. It turns around 360 degrees and can be adjusted up and down to a significant angle of gun depression and elevation. That's got to be like at least 20 degrees of gun elevation there. So as you can see, as far as the seat, there are no studs to secure your minifigure in there, but there is a little control panel that he can use to control the weapon. I think that the sides also look really good, and it integrates well with the actual body of the build. So let's move to the front of the build here, and we'll rotate this turret out of the way. You can remove this front portion of the build entirely, and as you can see, there's a Technic rod in there that secures to this Technic brick on the inside, and you can pull the front completely off with the glass and sit your minifigure or your ATTE driver on the inside. I would have liked to see an actual ATTE driver figure with this, even if it would have meant that I would have gotten one less 212th Trooper. That would have been really nice to get a gunner and a driver, because we've never gotten that both of those things in one set before. But in any case, there is the feature for the cockpit. It has two little handles for him to use to control the walker. From the front here, there are headlights and four little ball turrets on the front here that have an incredible range of motion. I mean, you could really use this vehicle as an anti-aircraft platform if you needed to press one into that kind of service on the front lines. And these are also very powerful cannons, and the front armor of this vehicle is very durable as well. As far as the front legs go, they don't have very much range of motion, as you can see. They're mostly meant to just sit in one spot like this as far as display, so it's kind of difficult. You would have to modify them slightly in order to make them step any higher, or to have the ATTE sort of tilted in a mock or anything like that. That might prove slightly difficult. You have the GAR symbol on the side here. You have some weathering and some stickers, which I was pleasantly surprised to see that the build did not rely super heavily on stickers, but it did include some stickers for some detailing that would not have been possible just with your standard bricks, such as this one back here. Now, let's go ahead and go towards the inside now. Unfortunately, this front hatch only opens a certain amount, as you can see, and it will, if you were to try and pull this up, this will block the opening. So thankfully, the designers saw fit to allow us to open up the sides as well very easily. The front of this build opens up, and you have a couple of seats on the inside here with some tools, and this entire section here lifts out for you to be able to sit your troopers down, or to take this out entirely and use it as something of a portion of your playset, if that's what you wanted to do. There's also, on the inside here, we'll pick the entire build up to show you, there's a couple of thermal detonators on the back side, if I can get a good grip on it, right here. And those are, I'm assuming, sitting in a particular way right next to the seats there in case the clone troopers need to disembark and arm themselves quickly. So let's go ahead and put that back in there. And close this back up. It closes up very quickly and very well. Looks very good. So towards the midsection here, you have this flat sort of double layered disc on the top of the legs here. Now this is a little more rounded in the actual lore, and there are some pieces that you can use to remedy that if you don't think that it looks quite right. I've seen several people do that, but thankfully that is very easy to do with this build. There's a lot of customizability that you can make, especially you could do the same thing to the feet here, which are also, just like the front and rear ones, sort of flat, but also circular, and utilizing the exact same pieces for the toes of the ATTE as the front and back as well, and the same design for the middle part. Now, it does have a carrying handle here that you can use with just two hands to pick up the entire model and put it back down, or two fingers rather, on one hand. Now, this back section, opening up this back section is a little difficult because you have to unlatch it from the back here. So if I pull on this and the top part, the latches are right here. So I have to separate this. I'll pick it up and show you. I have to separate this specific part right here. So I'm pulling, and this separates, and then this entire portion of the back of the build folds down, and you can see that there is a little gunner station here. I'll open it up so you can see it a little better. And the back portion opens up exactly the same as the front, although probably a little bit wider than the front. As you can see, this is now, if you wanted to use this and just open it up as a mobile command station for any of your mocks or your builds or anything, this is more than capable of filling that role for you. And at a $140 price point, you really can't beat it. It comes with almost enough clone troopers to fill all of the seats, so you would need a clone trooper to drive. You already have the gunner, and then you have two more clone troopers plus Commander Cody left, a clone trooper gunning in the back here, and perhaps a clone trooper ready to go in the front, plus Commander Cody maybe in the back. That only leaves a couple of seats left, 3 seats left. So if you had any other clone troopers, it would be very easy to fill this up. However, let's move on to the weapon racks here. You can see that there's 2 weapon racks in the back. I'll go ahead and turn this around so that you can see the print on that little gunner station right there. It's got a little crosshair and some controls on the bottom, and a sticker is utilized to make that happen. So we'll go ahead and close it up. As you can see, the turrets kind of drag on the ground when you're pulling it up, so you might want to lift the entire vehicle up while doing that. But I do like the fact that the back of the model snaps closed instead of just kind of folding closed. Now, the front of the model has the cockpit to sort of seal everything off and make it feel as one cohesive structure, but the fact that you can clip this together and not have to worry about anything, wobbling around, I like that very much. So, as you can see, the back legs are just the same as the front legs as far as design, and we've already gone over those. These back ball turrets are the same as the front ball turrets. However, I imagine those are controlled by the rear gunner on the inside that we just took a look at, and also have an incredible degree of range of motion and could be used in many applications. Oh, got to be careful with it or it'll pop out on you. Oh, getting a little stuck there. All right. And that is the ATTE model from front to back.
Thank you guys so much for watching. I know this was a long one, but I wanted to try out a new format for these reviews, and for those of you holding your ears during the live com portions, fear not, I will be receiving a lapel microphone in a couple of days that'll significantly boost the audio quality. Again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.